Mr. Chairman, have you ever walked by a construction site and you've seen the site, and it's really, when they're putting up big buildings, really a thing to behold, and you look down at the foundation upon which they're building, and if they're building the house right, they're putting it on a foundation of absolute bedrock. And as you're watching them put it together, they're bringing in large pieces of concrete and steel, and they're putting it down ever so slowly, because when they finally put it down on the foundation, it's not going to move again, and that's why they're very, very careful. And I think today we're missing an opportunity to build on a solid foundation. We have an opportunity to fix a failed and struggling program, and that is the National Flood Insurance Program that is not bedrock. It's peat moss. It is very, very soft stuff. It has an $18 billion liability right now, and rather than dealing with the flood component, what's happening, unfortunately, is an additional liability is being placed on a program that doesn't have a solid foundation. We are giving additional responsibility in this bill to FEMA without any substantive reforms of FEMA. I know that over the past years, FEMA has been subject to and deserves a great deal of criticism with the way in which it conducted itself following Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. And I think the lost opportunity here is a sad thing. The vast majority, not the overwhelming majority, but the vast majority of claims have been settled in the previous conflict. And now here we've got the chance to fix the flood program. My district wants a flood program that's dynamic and vibrant and solvent and based on a good foundation. As was previously mentioned, the GAO has put the NFIP on a watch list, and yet we're entrusting the NFIP with a new responsibility that we ought not do. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
2 minutes to the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Roskam.
Gentleman from Illinois is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the gentlelady for yielding. You know, this amendment, I find it ironic, actually, that this amendment, which has its merits, is being advanced, but that other amendments that are sort of similarly situated weren't placed in order. So, for example, this amendment says that in 9 months, the GAO is going to be charged with the responsibility, essentially, of looking back for the past 9 months and looking at the impact on state insurance programs. Great. Really, no argument there. But if looking back is a good idea, isn't looking forward a good idea too? Isn't a prospective look forward at the possibility something that we ought to be doing? I just find it concerning that we're willing to put a potential program, put the brakes on a potential program and be very reflective when we, at this very moment in time, as we sit here today, as we stand here today, we have the opportunity to accomplish this task by asking the GAO to look forward and look at the impact of this. This is part of the amendments that were unfortunately ruled out of order and were not allowed to be brought to the House, and we're going to be denied an opportunity to have an up or down vote on the WIN program, as Mr. Henserling had suggested in his amendment. And yet we're being told, well, you know what, take a glance back after 9 months and let's sort of see how we're doing. And oh, by the way, we tend to ignore what the GAO says anyways, since they've put the National Flood Insurance Program on a high-risk watch list, essentially, and without any managerial changes, we're entrusting that group that is under on a watch with this great responsibility. And I think this amendment really brings that real concern to mind, that those of us on this side of the aisle, we're not being given the opportunity to really debate this in totality. And with that, I yield back.